Welcome back to another episode of Mysteries in Black and White with your two hosts, me, Ed, and my main man, Josh. Hopefully this week, you'll actually see our mugs.
Yep.
Because last week we recorded it all, we were fucking pleased with it, but for some reason it didn't actually record us.
After all that time stressing about it,
Yeah,
trying to get it sorted, and then we've
mate.
finally we fucking done it, and the laptop's just like,
Nah, just shit itself pretty much. So, yeah, hopefully you can actually see us. What you say?
Well, go on.
This is our second episode of season 2. I advise if you haven't seen season 1 to actually go back and listen to them.
Absolutely.
They're like how would you say? They're like the most well-known things.
Yeah.
Of both of our
topics, sort of thing.
Topics. Yeah. In this season, we are talking all about Great Britain.
Yep.
Where me and Josh are from. And this week, we are talking about two serial killers. One is more well-known than the other, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're responsible for the famous Moor murders. So that's Ian Brady and Myra Hindley.
Yep.
I'll say looking at her, Myra Hindley's more recognisable.
Yeah.
She had like that witchy fucking look to her, didn't she? But
very Cruella de Vil-esque sort of thing.
Yeah. But Ian Brady, I'd say, is more well known. But at first, I want to say I have had my haircut this week.
Hey.
And my lovely wife kindly braided my hair, so now I only go by the name Ragnar. Look at that boy. Look at that.
Get up there, be chavvy.
So yeah, I'm just waiting for a Valkyrie to come down and say my seat in Valhalla is secured. But Josh, how you been this week, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Yourself?
I've had a mad week.
Yeah. Well, from what you put in that fucking voice chat.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that about?
Honestly, right, here's the story. You couldn't write it. Just left off work. I'll take 3 blokes home.
Yeah.
I'm driving, going along, and a mate of ours was driving in front. Go along, and all of a sudden, where this like walk path like crosses road.
Right.
I ain't kidding you. I swear this on my mother's ashes. A man, he must have been in his 50s, maybe 60s.
Yeah.
He's got an old boy, ran across the road, stark bollock naked. It sounds mad even like saying it now.
Yeah.
All he had on was a pair of boots, a pair of gloves, a black baseball cap, and I think he had a pair of glasses on, and ran across the road.
What the fuck?
And our mate in front, like, we were just like not yelling abuse at him, but we was like, get your old boy out, and shit like that. Like, and our mate, like, I don't recommend this, but our mate who was driving, he rung one of the other lads. I was like, did you see that man? He was naked, wasn't he? And we was like, well, you got a fucking good eyeful, so you tell us. And he was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was fucking naked.
Hell.
So we was like, you'd have loved it, Josh. We was coming up with all conspiracy theories. Like either like he's some mad naturist, he's been in a drug deal that's gone wrong, and like they beat him up and like took his clothes off him, and he's had to run home. A bet or a dare or something that he did it. Or like honestly, all the way home we was like, what the fuck?
As if.
Yeah, no, honestly, that was fucking mental. Thing is, but you ain't gonna believe me, but I promise you that fucking I swear on my mother's ashes. That is the maddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
For fuck's sake.
But yeah, apart from that, yeah, been alright, been alright. Me and Courtney finished watching Dharma. Very, very good.
Yeah.
I do highly recommend it. Like, it showed, like a lot of people ever since that come out has asked. I don't know if they've asked you, but they've asked me like you should do a podcast on Dharma.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, we would have, but this is all about Great
Y-
Britain.
yeah.
We've hyped it up just being about Great Britain for so much.
Well, we can't just then flip back over stateside and be
no.
like what we got.
Yeah, but we will eventually do one on Jeffrey Dahmer because
Oh yeah.
I knew of him, I knew what he'd done, knew he was known as the Milwaukee Monster or Milwaukee Cannibal and stuff like that. But after watching that, it shows really how fucked he was. Like mentally, like deranged.
Yeah.
In a way. So it was very interesting. Evan Peters, he was Quicksilver.
Yeah.
In the new X-Men. He played a very good role as Dharma.
Yeah.
He played an incredible role. I think it nearly like fucked him up playing that.
Oh, mad.
It would. Anyway, no, it was very, very convincing.
Fair play.
Very
Fair fucking play.
convincing. No, it was really, really good. So, but the only thing I didn't like about it, I wouldn't say they dramatised it, but they romanticised him a bit.
Oh, really? Sort of like what they did with the Bundy film.
Kinda, where like you felt kind of sorry for him.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like even Courtney was getting a bit like that, and I said, Courtney, you've got to remember,
He's a fucking serial killer.
he's a serial killer. He killed 17 men,
That's what I mean.
and he
Fucking
ate
hell.
some of them.
That's what I
Like-
mean. You're like, fuck, what the fuck?
You can't feel sorry for a psycho like that, honestly.
Well, no.
So, but no, like it was. That's the only little nitpick I've got for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, because it showed like how his father felt bad, like, well, not felt bad, but like was fucking him up, really. And you felt sorry for the dad. 'Cause
Yeah.
in a way, it's not his fault.
Well,
A
no,
lot
of course
a lot
it
of
ain't.
people did blame him because he got him into taxidermy and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you can't
You
ever
can't
get
pin
into that thinking your kid's going to become a fucking killer.
No, exactly. So I don't personally blame the dad.
No.
I think some people are just born like it,
Mm-hmm.
which I think we'll go into in this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a quite decent week. Usually, I ain't done a thing. I didn't say not too bad. Not too bad.
Oh.
It's the first time I actually had something to say. So yeah, it's been a mad week. Mad week. So yeah. But to our overseas listeners,
Mhm.
should we say, like, these are quite well known in
Yeah.
the UK, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the UK's most notorious serial killers.
Yeah, big time. So, Josh,
Yeah, boy.
tell us about Mr. Ian Brady and Myra Hindley.
Right. Well,
Miss Myra Hindley.
right. Just give you a little bit of a pre-introduction, I'll say. So at 6:00 a.m. on October 7th, 1965, a terrified couple armed with a hammer and a screwdriver for protection rush over to a public telephone to tell the police that they have just witnessed the murder of a teenage boy with an axe near a Manchester estate. Because of this phone call, what unfolded was to shock the nation and unveil a series of murders which would become the most notorious in British criminal history.
Right.
Now, these murders took place in Manchester between 1963 and 1965. Now, the murders were nicknamed the Moors murders, as you mentioned, due to the fact that the majority of them took place on the Moors, on the Saddleworth Moors.
Oh, so they actually got the crimes were committed.
Yeah,
on
the majority of them, were committed on the Saddleworth Moors.
Right.
Now, these were carried out by two of the most famous names in British history, as we've mentioned before, and as you can tell by the title, Ian Brady and Myra Hindley. Now, Myra Hindley, since then, has actually been labelled the most evil woman in Britain.
Yeah.
So, what I'll do, like, normally I tell you about their story, like, what they committed, and then go through the backstory. I'm going to do it a bit different this time. I'll mention, I'll mention the backstory, how they met each other, and then basically follow it along day by day.
Right, go in chronological order.
Yeah, exactly. So, Myra Hindley was born in Manchester on July 23rd, 1942, into Manchester.
Right, so she was born during World War II.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
And she was born into an average working class family. They weren't poor, but they weren't exactly rich, and that's pretty much her story throughout her whole life.
So a guy like average Joe.
Yeah, she weren't exactly flamboyant or anything, but she weren't
No.
exactly scraping for comeuppance either.
Right, yeah.
Well, her father Bob was in the army fighting in the Second World War, whilst Myra was a toddler. to which she returned when she was about 4 or 5. And due to this, she was basically, for her early ages, raised by her mum and her grandmum. So after the war, obviously, things started settling down and all that sort of shit. Their mum and dad decided to have a second kid called Maury. Myra and Maury. Now, due to the war, Bob, as most men back then, returned a completely different human.
Yeah.
Like, apparently he was loving, he was doting and everything before he left. He was just a polar opposite, yeah. He started drinking heavily, started becoming abusive to his mother. But...
His mother?
Her mother. Her mother. Myra's mum. And, but she would actually fight back against him.
Oh, yeah.
So they were actually quite an aggressive couple.
Yeah.
Because she was one, like, typical...
Mank.
Yeah, back then, don't take no shit off no one.
Yeah.
So, obviously, due to this, Myra and her sister grew up in a house of violence. Constantly, all the time. And it got so bad that Myra actually would take her baby sister, and bearing in mind, she must have only been about 6 to 7 months old at the time, to her grandmother's so they didn't have to see it.
Right.
Now, eventually, due to the violence escalating, Myra and Maureen were actually adopted by their grandmother.
Fair.
So the family actually come up with a sort of plan about it. So the girls would sleep at their grandmother's, but they would go to their mum and dad's for like meals and everything. So basically, just as the evening started to come in, they'd go back to the grandmother's so they couldn't see all this shit kicking off.
Right. Could mum and dad just got a divorce?
I mean, they could have.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it was a case of she knew it was because of the war that's done it, that's not the real him and she still loves him. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. And I think it was a bit taboo back then, weren't it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously, because of this whole upbringing, this obviously led Myra to growing up having a hard shell. Like, she wouldn't take shit off anyone. She would constantly get in scraps and arguments in the playgrounds and shit like that. Now, she did actually have a lot of friends at school, and pretty much everyone in the school respected her because they knew not to fuck with her. Yeah. Because she was just a hard nut, basically.
Right.
But this actually stemmed from this lad that was picking on her once and sent Myra home crying.
Oh.
Now, her dad, obviously, back then, it's a case of you got to toughen up sort of shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So her dad actually taught her some boxing moves to defend herself. And this boy, once again, tried picking on her, and she basically battered the living shit out of the guy.
Knocked him out.
Yeah. And apparently, according to her, what she said since she's been in prison, this was the proudest she'd ever seen her dad be of her.
Right, yeah.
Now, you got to also think, a kid's growing up, especially in them times, you've done something and you're seeing your dad proud of you, that's going to make you want to do it more.
Yeah, of course it is.
So, obviously, this started... So, in her mind, because she's still technically a child, she's looking at violence as a good thing. Because she's like, well, if I do this, my dad's going to think I'm more proud of me. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why she got this whole reputation of conning, basically. Don't fuck with me.
Hooligan.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, when she was a teenager, she would actually get... This, when I found out, was so weird when you think back of what they'd done. She actually got a job as a babysitter. And she apparently was an unbelievable babysitter as well. She'd feed them, do you know what I mean? Do everything for them. So when you think later down the life, imagine like you're one of these people whose kid she's babysitting. And then you grow up thinking, that's the girl that used to babysit my kid. And then you see the shit they've done.
Yeah,
you think, fucking hell.
Yeah. That's a bit mad.
Yeah. Now, when Myra was 14, she noticed this little boy getting bullied, and she felt sorry for him. So she went and defended him, even though she'd never spoke a word to him. She didn't have a fucking clue who he was. Well, a few days later, the same thing happened again. And this happened a few more times until Myra and this boy actually had a conversation, and eventually down the line became really, really good friends.
Yeah.
Now, further down the line, this boy asked Myra if she wanted to go down to the reservoir, but Myra said no because she had other plans. Later on that day, Myra heard a group of kids talking about an accident down the reservoir, and she panicked, thinking something bad had happened to her friend. So she rushed down there, but it was covered with police, firemen, you know what I mean, the works. and she saw the police pulling her best friend's body out of the reservoir.
Oh, fucking hell.
So
Yeah,
this,
that'd fuck you up.
yeah,
Yeah.
it broke her, absolutely broke her. Well, as it was common back then, a little bit down the line in her life, she decided to leave school and get a job early. And she began to change her appearance because she was actually a brunette.
Oh,
And she weren't actually exactly the best looking girl on the planet, I'll put it that way. But so she dyed her hair bleach blonde, she started wearing heavy, thick-set makeup, the works. And this sparked a turn in interest in men. Because obviously you think she's gone from a nobody to, fucking who is that sort of thing.
Yeah, head turner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Myra was actually going to marry this man called Ronnie, and they was engaged and going to have kids and everything. Like it was, again, typical back then. It was leave school, get a job, 9 times out of 10 in the factory, find a bloke, marry him, have kids, become a housewife.
Yeah.
But she didn't really want this life.
No.
She just wasn't interested in it in the slightest.
Too busy bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah, by the sounds of it.
Bronson.
Just before it was too late, I think it was like a few months before they were going to get married, she met a stranger from work called Ian Brady. So this is where, obviously, it starts going a bit.
Shit is the
But
fact.
this is weird as anything, right? When she first saw him, according to her, it was actually love at first sight.
Yeah.
She adored him, obsessed with him, basically. He couldn't give two shits about her. He really couldn't bat an eyelid. It was the case where she'd be like, "Oh, you're right, Ian." He'd be like, "Yeah, all right." And that's it. That's the only word she'd ever get out of him. But just before I go on to that, I'll tell you a bit of Ian Brady's backstory. So Ian Brady was born on January 2nd, 1938 in Glasgow, Scotland. And he was raised by his mum, but never had a father figure.
Right.
And his mum always was constantly struggling to raise him financially. So she wanted to see him still, but couldn't look after him. So I can't believe what he was like back then. She actually put a sign up in a shop window for anyone that wanted to unofficially adopt him. You always see
long-term babysitter.
Yeah, you always see like missing cats, or like you said, babysitter job or help wanted.
Yeah.
Do you want a kid?
Yeah.
Just imagine just walking past the shop nowadays and seeing that.
Oh.
You're like, what the fuck?
Maybe snapped up by a 70s entertainer.
We all fucking too right, Jesus. Well, a family called the Sloan family decided to adopt him. Now, because this happened when he was still a baby, it was really the only life he ever knew. But as growing up, he always did feel like an outsider. Now, his mum would come and see him and bring him presents and all that, but she never told him that it was her mum. His mum, sorry.
Oh, right, so it's a bit like Ted Bundy.
Yeah, in a roundabout sort of way.
Yeah.
But I think this was obviously because they're thinking, we don't want to cause unnecessary stress on the kid.
No.
Well, later on, his mum ended up marrying a man and they moved to Manchester. Now, when this happened, Brady started becoming a little shit.
Yeah.
Because this is when he found out that was his mum.
Right.
And when I say a little shit, I mean just on another level. You know, stealing, fighting, and he even started bringing out like a pocket knife with him.
I weren't really unheard of then.
Nah, not really. Now, at this point is when he started becoming very, very obsessed with the Nazis. Because you got to think this is obviously just after World War II. So he's reading all sorts of Nazi literature, the books, anything he can get his hands on to do with them. He's just obsessed with them, pretty much, yeah. And he would go around, and obviously because it had only just happened, it weren't as common knowledge as it is nowadays. You just knew the Germans were invaded. You didn't know about, like kids, I mean, you didn't know about the Nazi party or anything like that.
No.
And then especially because the parents have lived through it, they're not exactly going to tell their kids about it after it's literally just happened.
No, so a cooling off period.
Yeah, exactly. But he went into school telling all the kids about it. So, oh, you ever heard of the Nazis? Just like they're the ones that we just fought in World War II, and this is what they've done. And he went into like vivid detail of what they actually were capable of and what they'd done, etc.
Yeah.
Now this, I tried to find out if it's true or not. According to Brady, this is true, but you know what I mean. Well, a few years later, apparently, Brady and his friends were playing like just around, and Brady had actually singled out, which he always used to do. He used to sell out. There was a group of 5. He'd pick one of them 5 every time they hung out, and the other 4 would just basically pick on him, and it'd be a different person every time. Well, this one's he picked a lad out. The other lad started picking on him, Brady ordered them to tie up the lad to a pole and put newspaper and wrap it around his body. Brady then got out a match and set the paper alight and was going to burn this kid alive.
Fucking hell.
Thankfully, the other lad sort of switched on back to reality. It was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
and pulled the paper off him and untied him before it got to that stage.
Yeah, like, hang on.
Yeah.
Wait, you got it. That's a bit far.
But Brady was fucking fuming about this, apparently. He was livid that they got rid of him. He was like, what the fuck are you doing, you silly cunts?
Fair enough. You just want a nice afternoon burning some kid.
That's what I mean. What the fuck?
You bastards.
Nah, actually, oh no, sorry, I misquoted, right? Brady didn't come out and say this. Brady actually denies this.
Oh, right.
And the thing is, why I say take this with a pinch of salt is because if you know anything about Ian Brady...
He denied everything.
Well, no, that's the thing. He never did. He never, ever did deny anything. So whether it's true or not, if he's coming out, like when it comes to the murders and that, when he was caught out, he's like, yeah, I did it, yeah, I did it, yeah, I did it.
Oh, I'm thinking of someone else then.
And then the fact he's gone with this, nah, that's bollocks. It's a case of did it or didn't it, sort of thing. Now, growing up, Brady was a massive lover of animals. And whilst he was growing up, he actually had a dog called Sheila. And they got this dog when Brady was a baby and the dog was a puppy. So they basically grew up together.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, eventually this dog did die. But it died whilst he was at school. And it was his first experience with death. So he didn't know what to do or how to react. Apparently, he come in the door looking around for his dog and that. He knew by his mum's face that what had happened, but he didn't have a clue how to deal with it. So he apparently went on a really, really long walk just to try and clear his head. During this walk, he came to the realization that death is inevitable. So what matters, really?
Yeah.
And then suddenly, this is his words, he suddenly felt this awe feeling, like, as he described it, it felt like he was having a stroke. Just overwhelming feeling. And he leant on a wall to try and sober up. And when he looked up, he apparently saw what he described as the face of death. And according to him, it was a green and black figure stood in front of him. And Brady, even though it didn't really have a face, Brady just knew that was apparently the face of death.
Right.
No, time went on, and once again at school, Brady was told that a boy had grasped on him for stealing, which, again, ultimately pissed this guy off. He was going to find the boy and beat the shit out of him, and he apparently approached him, and this boy locked eyes with Brady, and he said he has never seen fear like that in someone's eyes, and he loved the fact that he could project that feeling onto people. So he's already starting to become a bit of a narcissist. Now, during his teens, he continued to stealing, and the police warned him multiple times, but it never worked. So as a last-ditch attempt, they took him to court, and he was given an option. He could either go to Manchester to live with his mum, or he can go to prison. Obviously, he's choosing to live with Manchester with his mum. He settled in really, really well and got on really well with his stepdad. And that's whose surname he took, Brady.
Oh, right. What was his surname then?
Oh, not a fucking clue. Not a clue. Now, by the time he was 19 is when he met Myra Hindley. Now, as I said, Myra had a massive obsession with Brady and all that sort of shit. She would constantly talk about him and even got a diary specifically just writing stuff about him. Even if it was the simplest thing like, oh, he looked at me at this point today.
Oh, like proper like cheese.
Yeah,
fucking.
yeah. She was honestly obsessed with this guy.
Mate, it's like a cross between Mean Girls and Halloween.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, for the next few weeks and months, Myra done anything she possibly could to get this guy's attention, and it just wouldn't work. He could not give two shits about her. But he was a weird. He weren't weird. He was just a bit odd. He'd like to be by himself all the time and just read his book, but he'd always integrate just that so much so that basically the rest of the workplace weren't going, what the fuck's wrong with him, sort of thing. This big obsession ended up becoming stalking, and she was basically hanging around his house and everything, just walking up and down the street, just trying to catch a glimpse of him. and even found out where his favourite pub was and started going to that on the off chance that he would walk in. She was madly obsessed with this guy.
Yeah, that's a bit mad. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah. She stalked him that bad to the point where she found out who his favourite authors were. So the next day at work, she puts herself like in his line of view where he's sitting down reading a book and starts reading this book, and obviously Brady catches attention to it, goes up to her and asks her about the book. That then happened a couple more times, and they just started conversing more and more, and eventually led down the line where at their work's Christmas party, she asked her for a dance, and then they went out for a drink, and that's when the relationship started to form.
Right.
Now, one day, they went to watch a heavily Christian-orientated type movie, which Hindley absolutely loved because she was a massive Christian.
Oh, really?
Major Christian. But ironically, Brady hated it because he was an atheist. So when they went for a drink, Brady was basically dissecting the whole film to Myra, and she saw, almost unintentionally, he was manipulating her. Because then she started going, yeah, he's right. Yeah,
he's got a point.
Yeah, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And basically he ended up starting to push her towards his views, sort of thing. At this point, they're in a full relationship, and one thing the couple did a lot was go to the Saddleworth Moors in Manchester. They would take their dogs up there for walks, have a bottle of wine, and just talk. And over time, these conversations got darker and darker and darker. So it started with religion, life, marriage, all that, to crime and then death. And Brady would talk about his love for animals and how much he really badly wanted to hurt people that hurt them.
That's fair.
Yeah. Brady eventually admitted to Myra that he wanted to commit crimes with her. And so she agreed. And they began with like petty little things like vandalism and shoplifting, all that sort of thing. But Brady always mentioned that he wanted to commit the perfect crime. And what he meant by that was a crime so perfectly detailed that they would get away with it, that it would be impossible to catch them.
Yeah.
So this one day, this perfect crime escalated when Brady gave Myra a book called Compulsion. And this book is basically about two men who abduct and murder a schoolboy. And again, they plan it out so perfectly that they get away with it.
Right.
Brady then asks Myra to commit the perfect crime with her, which is to abduct and kill a small child, to which Myra agrees.
What?
Yeah. You got to think, he's slowly been unintentionally manipulating her to this point, and she's obviously going along with everything. So he's then thinking,
I wonder how far I can push it.
Yeah, exactly.
To say, should go and kill a kid. Yeah,
right.
Right, me and Court, right, we talk.
Yeah.
As married couples do. I've never really said to her, like, should we go and kill someone?
No.
Would you do that with me? Would you kill someone with me? Try and get away with it? She'd be like, you're fucking tab.
Yeah. But I think as well, because she is so obsessed with him, she'd do anything this fucking guy asked her to.
Yeah, but that's a bit fucking extreme, isn't it?
Oh, God, yeah. They're just fucking tapped.
Right, yeah, so she was a hard-nut Christian.
Yeah.
And he was an animal-obsessed narcissist.
Yeah.
It's a bit.
Fucking talk about a bit of a Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, but it's more like Auschwitz and Hiroshima. You know what I mean?
Fuck's sake.
That's fucking mad, mate.
Well, they begin to plan out this perfect crime by driving up to schools and basically scouting out the kids.
Nah, this is fucking weird.
Yeah. Like. Of course they're weird. Do you not know what they've done?
Yeah, well, yeah. But still, like, they got... It's alright, one thing talking about it, because you, like, just imagine, like, she's only agreeing to it, like, just to...
Keep him sweet,
keep
sort of thing.
Sweet, and then all of a sudden they're in the car outside school. She's probably, in a way, probably thinking, the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And he's going, what about that one? It's like, wait, what do you mean, what about that one?
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
No, fucking hold the bus. What are you going on about?
Yeah, fucking hell.
And then they would also drive up to the moors to try and find the perfect spot to bring the kid. On July 12th, 1963, Myra was driving her van into town and Brady was following behind on his motorbike. And the reason they did this was because when they pull over to talk to the kid, it's a lot easier for a woman to talk to a kid and to entice them than it would be a man and a woman. So Myra was driving in a van, Brady was following behind on a motorbike, and when they found a child that they liked, Brady would flash his lights and Myra would pull over and entice the child. Well, 16-year-old Pauline Reed was heading to a dance when Brady flashed his lights towards Myra. Now, Myra actually knew this girl because she was Myra's sister Maureen's mate.
Oh, right.
So Myra pulled over and offered Pauline a lift to the dance. And Pauline obviously accepted because she's thinking, that's Maureen's sister.
Yeah,
so
she knows her.
So they drove towards the dance hall when Hindley turned the van and said to Pauline that she'd actually lost a glove somewhere up on the moors, and that it's really sentimental and she needs to find it. So Pauline's like, yeah, okay, I'll help you. Again, thinking it's her mate's sister.
Yeah.
So they drive up to the moors, and that's where Myra introduces Pauline to Brady. Just saying, oh, this is my friend. He's come to help find it as well. Now, this is where their turn of events sort of differ slightly. So Myra's turn of events claims that she saw Pauline and Brady walk off, and then Myra went back and waited in the van for about half an hour, and then Brady knocked on the window of the van after he had sexually assaulted and killed her. However, Brady's turned around and said, no, she was there the whole time. She was in on it. She'd done it as well. So whoever's telling the truth or not, I don't know.
In a way, because he already owned up to it, you can't believe more Brady.
Brady, yeah.
Where she's just trying to get away with it.
Well, during this time, obviously, Pauline's family are panicking, thinking she's not turned up to the dance, all this shit.
Yeah, she ain't come home.
Yeah, so they're obviously getting the police involved, searching it. Whilst this is happening, Brady and Hindley had actually cleaned up their van, burnt the clothes, and discarded the weapon. Now, literally, this is happening at the exact same time, whilst the parents are panicking, thinking, where's my daughter, looking for her? These two sick bastards are literally sat by the fire with a bottle of wine, speaking about what they had just done, as if they just watched a film.
Yeah.
It's like, you sick fucking animals.
Yeah, that's fucking
during this conversation, Brady even claimed that he felt like a god because he'd got away with the perfect crime.
Well, yeah, and that's why they always say, like, when you kill someone or kill something, they say you're playing God.
Yeah, exactly. You're taking a life, aren't you?
Yeah, you're choosing who lives and who dies. So, yeah.
Now, during this time, Myra Hindley was actually having an affair with the man that they rented the van off.
Wait, hang on a minute. So this woman used to be really obsessed with Brady.
Yeah.
Super obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Followed him, stalked him, whatever. As soon as they get a relationship, she's like, I've had son.
Well, apparently, Brady knew about the first time because he said, if you sleep with him, you might be able to get the van a bit cheaper. Do you know what I mean? And all that sort of shit. So that,
he's got a bigger cock than him.
Yeah,
so
and then it's basically just carried. Yeah, she just basically carried on. This man actually told Myra that she would be a great addition for the police. Yeah. Hindley told this to Brady, and he loved the idea because he thought, fucking hell, someone on the inside. Yeah, fucking go for it. Start training, which she did. She ended up going on a training course to become a police officer. But it was around this time that Brady found out that they were actually having an affair.
Yeah.
He went batshit crazy. He's like, you ain't fucking joining the police force. You can fuck off. You ain't speaking to that man again. And obviously, because she is obsessed with him, she's thinking, yeah, okay, why not? Honestly, these two are tapped.
How backwards is that?
It's fucking mental.
It just shows, as the old song says, these hoes ain't loyal.
Amen. Fuck's sake.
As a white old man said, bitches be crazy.
Bullshit.
I know, we shouldn't laugh because it is quite a deep thing, really. But
you got
I know. Fuck,
we've always said though, we got to make light of a situation.
Yeah. Like, right. I talk about weird shit. I talk about like monsters and stuff like that. Right. We always have a giggle over that. But when it's this, it makes them more real.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, like, these fuckers are the definition of weird.
Yeah. Like, I'd rather believe there's a fucking werewolf out there than fucking people who are actually like this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I think that's what's so baffling and so interesting about these sort of things, and why I gravitate to serial killers. Is because these things happen.
Happen.
Like these are genuine, actual people that have done this shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm the exact same.
Well,
Right?
whether they believe it or whether they believe what they're thinking or not,
Yeah.
they still did it.
Why I'm always really interested in like serial killers. I think I've mentioned it before in season 1. It's the mentality, it's the psychological side. Like, what makes them want to be like that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, normally with serial killers, it normally stems from their backgrounds and that.
Yeah.
But these two, I know they've had a bit of fucked up things happen in the past.
Yeah, yeah.
But relatively, a sort of average,
common thing.
Yeah.
It was more like you said, like with Myra's, with the mum and dad beating each other up. With that, like that was a common thing. Like you said, like when men come back from the Second World War,
they were completely different to the person that left.
Yeah, exactly.
War does that to people, even nowadays. There's a reason things like PTSD exist.
Exactly. So back then it weren't really spoke about.
Well,
they
no.
used to call it like shell shock and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And as well, it's like these two. I think that a load of people, I can't speak for obviously everyone, but I think what a load of people might find these two fascinating is because they haven't just killed out of an animalistic urge. It's literally to see if they can pull off the perfect crime.
Yeah.
That is it. That's the only reason they've killed.
But
they've not got an agenda.
How many people did they kill?
5.
Right.
They've not got an agenda or anything.
No.
It's literally just I don't know, fucking their way of getting off. Do you know what I mean?
Their way to pass the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
It seems like it. It's a fucking hobby of theirs.
Yeah. Well, after a few months after this all happened, Pauline Reed case went cold because obviously they couldn't find the body and that. Brady felt ecstatic about this and wanted to commit another murder.
So let's see how far he could push it.
Yeah, pretty
it's like
much.
The whole thing you said with Bundy and the others. Like, it's always that wanting to get caught.
Yeah. He's thinking,
that.
we've committed the perfect crime and we've actually done it.
Yeah, how far can we push it?
Yeah, fuck it, let's do it again.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they decided to switch up their approach to make it not look as suspicious, because obviously the van pulling up and all that, and if another kid goes missing in a similar area, you start to link it.
Yeah.
And that's what these two are really clever with. They're changing up their modus operandi to make it look like they ain't linked. The kids have literally just gone missing. They weren't killed, sort of thing. So on this day, 12-year-old John Kilbride was helping out at a local market. And when he was approached by Hindley, and she offered to take him home, to which he agreed. They then took him to the moors, and once again, their stories differ with how it happened, with Myra saying Brady and the kid went off. I waited in the van, where Brady's saying, nah, she was there, sort of thing. Nah, but regardless of whoever you believe, the sad reality, this boy was killed in the moors.
Yeah, he was murdered.
John's family went to the police, and a massive investigation took place to find him. When they came to the conclusion that he was probably dead, the police and the public started to question John's father as the killer and basically branded him guilty before he was even charged.
Fucking hell.
So you got to think, this poor fucker, his life has just been flipped upside down. His kid's gone missing, presumably dead, so he's not even really had time to mourn because he don't know for definite. And now he's being branded for killing him. And he's done fuck all.
Yeah, he's just been a father.
Yeah. I was like, fucking hell. Well, 8 months later, and the next murder took place on June 16th, 1964, and this is the most famous of them all, 12-year-old Keith Bennett, which is a little bit ahead if you don't know. It's the body they never found. Well, Keith was actually going to have a sleepover at his grandmother's house, to which his mum decided to walk him halfway. Apparently, he was the one of 4 kids. The other 3 kids were already there. Apparently, Keith went home to grab something, and the mum's like, okay, I'll walk you across. And this is so sad, right? So she walks him, basically watches him cross the road. When he gets to the other side of the road, the lad turns around, waves at his mum, and that's the last time she ever saw him. It's like, fuck, imagine that. Picturing that. It's like your little 12-year-old boy's gone, bye, mummy.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's like, and that's not only is that the last time she's ever seen him, that's the last time, other than Brady and Hindley, anyone's ever seen him alive. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck?
No,
Well, his grandmother's house was actually only a few streets away. But in that short time, Brady and Hindley basically abducted him.
Pounced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, Hindley found the boy, offered him a lift, took him to the moors, and they killed him. Obviously, with the other two as well, an investigation begins, but to no avail. And a few months later, Keith Bennett's mum actually made friends with John Kilbride's mum, who was the second victim, because they knew what each other was going through, because Keith Bennett's dad was also accused of killing Keith.
Right, okay.
So obviously the two mums have basically got this both identically in common. So they actually ended up becoming really, really good friends through it. Well, 6 months later, this is a little bit, it will make sense as I go along, but this is a little bit of just a side story.
Yeah.
Well, 6 months later, Brady is introduced to Myra's sister's, Maureen's husband, David Smith.
What a name.
But David Smith.
Yeah, they really thought hard about that. One of the most fucking common names out there. David Smith.
Yep.
You could tell he used to drive a Volvo. You know what I mean?
Fuck's sake.
He was a geography teacher, I bet you.
Well, Brady really took a shine to this bloke. And was basically trying to manipulate him into becoming an accomplice. So he did the similar thing with them, like it'd be, oh, what crime do you think you can get away with? Have you ever been tempted to do it? And sort of shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Myra hated this because she's thinking, this is our thing, you prick.
Yeah.
This is generally what she said. She was like, it was our thing. And he's trying to bring this guy into it. She was basically becoming a jealous little bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like you're fucking going to the pub with your boys.
Yeah.
You're killing people.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's your thing?
It's not like you're asking another girl for a threesome.
Well,
Right?
no. You're like, what the fuck?
That's fucking ridiculous, man.
Well, around this time, Brady and Hindley finally moved in together and became very nice with the neighbourhood's children.
Oh, yeah.
Really friendly with them. Particularly their next-door neighbour's little girl, Patty, which apparently she used to come round all the time and play with the dog and all that sort of thing, and Myra and Brady would make her dinner and that. Never even thought of harming her. They were genuinely friendly to him.
Right.
Which is surreal, because that girl now, I mean, God knows how old she is now, but must be thinking, fucking hell.
Talk about fucking brush with death.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Well, over time, they actually become really friendly with the neighbourhood's kids to the point where they would actually take them on day trips to the Saddleworth moors. Yeah. And this is where they started all that sick shit with the pictures, where they had pictures with the dogs and that. And anyone just looking at a normal picture would have thought, oh, it's just them at the moors taking a picture. But it was exactly where the people were buried.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I literally bang on the money. Because obviously they know, the kids don't. The kids are all having fun, la-di-da, playing, and they're taking pictures literally standing over someone's burial site.
That's disrespectful.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's bad.
It's fucking disgusting. Around this time, Maureen gave birth to her child, Angela. Now, like I said, this is where they started taking pictures with their victims and that, and all this sort of shit. Well, on Boxing Day 1964, they decided to kill again. And they did their week...
Oh, a Christmas treat.
Yeah, I know, right? But that's the thing. They were planning it on Christmas Day.
Nah, that's okay there.
They were literally sat there like how they do on the fire with the wine and that.
Yeah, carving the fucking turkey. Just fancy killing them all?
Yeah, why not? Go on then.
Fancy a walk?
Well, so what they did was they decided to do their weekly shopping and take it to a fairground, the local fairground in the area. They dropped it by a little girl called Leslie Ann Downs, I think her name is.
Downs?
Yeah, Downs, something like that. Hang on. Moment, please. Where is it? Where's the fucking... Oh, Leslie Ann Downey. My bad.
Downey.
Leslie Ann Downey. Now I've got to find where it was.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Jesus Christ. Right, yeah.
Are you good?
Oh, no, I've lost where I am.
Oh. You didn't have this on the black shuck. See, I'm a changed man now.
Yeah, we've swapped roles.
Yeah, I know. Season 1, it was always me like, oh, I lost it. Oh, it's fucking fine. Now I am prepared.
Yeah, here we go.
Saying I'm prepared, though, I ain't got a clue what I'm doing next week. I lost all my notes, didn't I?
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
So,
Oh, well, be surprised for you lot.
I'll think while we're doing this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as I said, they decided to take the shopping to the fairground, drop it by this girl, Leslie Ann Downey.
Yeah.
She, being just an innocent little girl, helped them pick it up. Myra actually went, oh, would you mind if you just help us take it back to the van? Because obviously the bag split. Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, seeing you here, would you mind just coming back with me? Helping unload it, and then I'll bring you back here. Yeah, okay. Innocent little kid, not having a clue what's going on. Obviously, we all know what happens. They took her back to theirs and killed her. And this is why they decided to change it up. When I said they were discussing it on Christmas Day, this was the plan, was to kill her in their house instead of taking her to the moors.
Right.
So they actually went to take her body back to the moors after they'd done it. Oh, sorry, a little detail I missed out. They really wanted to change it up this time. So what they did, they got video and audio recorders to film themselves killing her.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's
And
sick.
at the same time, their grandmother, Myra's grandmother, was actually living with them.
She must have been deaf
So she was literally in the house.
while this child was being killed.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They're sickos. But yeah, so they decided to take her body to the moors, but they didn't exactly get very far because the weather conditions were that bad. So they took her body back to the house and just left it upstairs until they could actually deal with her. They literally just left the body upstairs.
Like a fucking ornament.
Yeah.
What?
And it was after this killing.
Look at this fleshy paperweight.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And this was obviously the fourth killing, and it was after this one that Brady went, no more. He's like, I've proven I can get away with it multiple times. I don't need to kill again. And I think they weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of days later, their next door neighbour, that little girl, Patty, come round and saw Leslie Ann Downey's picture on the front page of the newspaper. So, and apparently she turned around and went, oh, that's my friend. These sick bastards then asked Patty to read the article out in front of them. They played dumb like, oh, really? What's it say? What's happened? And she's reading the article about this missing child to the people that have fucking killed her.
Fucking hell.
This poor girl must be tormented to fuck now.
Yeah.
Thinking, not only have I just escaped death, but I literally read out my friend's disappearance to the people that fucking killed her.
Fucking hell. Fucking hell.
You know, what the fuck? How sick can you get?
That's beyond.
Yeah.
Like, it's sick enough to take a child's life because they haven't even lived it. They haven't even started life.
No, exactly.
But to be like that is fucking...
It's fucking disgusting.
That's mad.
Well, during this time, if you remember, I said Maureen and David had a little girl, Angela.
Yeah.
She sadly died at 6 months old.
Right.
Well, after the funeral, Brady and Hindley took Maureen and David up to the moors to try and help them clear their heads, sort of thing. Just like,
There's a body there.
Well, no, this is the thing. Brady and David were actually sitting on the exact spot where John Kilbride was buried. David didn't have a fucking clue. So he's literally like, Brady's like putting his arm around him saying, it'll be all right, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. Literally, they're sitting
on a
child's body. And he don't have a fucking clue about it.
Fucking wrap up.
But again, during this time, Brady and Smith started growing really, really close.
Yeah.
And I think the Myra and Maureen were as well. They got a lot closer as well.
Yeah,
but it was it was never just the four of them. It was always the two lads and the two girls.
Right, yeah.
And again, Brady started the whole, oh, what crime can you get away with, and blah, blah, blah. And it got darker and darker and darker. Yeah. Brady then told David Smith that he had actually murdered someone before, but Smith didn't believe him.
Right, yeah.
This royally pissed Brady off. Because he's thinking, I fucking have. It's like, I've not just killed one prick, I've killed four.
Yeah.
And
he's sitting on one of them.
Yeah. Well, he did. He told him. He said, you do realise you sat right where the body was. He's like, yeah, all right, mate. Fucking nice one.
Yeah, yeah.
Sort of thing.
Funny.
So this is what caused Brady to kill again, the fifth and final victim. Because simply just to prove to this David Smith, he can do it. So on October 6th, 1965, Brady and Hindley would commit their final murder. And on this day, Brady went to the local railway station to put something in his locker that he had rented there.
Yeah.
And this is the locker that actually had all his incriminating evidence in. Because obviously he's not leaving that in the house just in case he does get questioned or raided or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not there. And afterwards, he went to go into the shop, and this 17-year-old lad called Edward Evans told him it was shut. The pair then started a conversation, and Brady invited him back to his house, which Edward Evans agreed. Whether there's a load of talk saying that Edward Evans was apparently gay and he thought Ian Brady was coming on to him or whatever. I don't know whether that's true or not. But as they was walking into the house, Brady actually... they walked to the car park where Myra was waiting in the van. And basically, Brady turned around and went, "Oh, this is my sister." So again, maybe this guy's thinking, do you know what I mean? He's gay.
Yeah.
And so we're literally about walking to the house. Brady turned to Hindley and said, "Go get David Smith now." To which she did. So he apparently walked over to his house and was just like, "Oh, Ian needs you. Can you come now?" Well, no, sorry, that's a lie. She went, "Oh, Ian's at home. Would you mind if you walked me back to my house just to make sure I'm there?" So David Smith did. Walked. When they got to the house, Myra basically went, "Oh, I've got a bottle of wine in here if you want it, just to say thank you." So it's like, "Yeah, okay." He walks into the house and hears just basically shouting, swearing, a massive commotion. So he rushes into the back room thinking Brady's being attacked, and he literally sees Brady standing over Edward Evans, killing him with an axe. This David Smith obviously shitting himself. Basically, Brady turned around and was like, "Told you I could do it." And then Myra,
No remorse.
Myra's like starting to clean up all the blood and that, and this is where David is fucking stupid, but at the same time, he didn't have a clue what to do.
No.
He actually started helping cleaning up the blood. He didn't touch the body, but then afterwards, he rushed home and just broke down.
Well, yeah. Okay, yeah, because you're in shock, ain't you?
Yeah, exactly.
You're standing there, and with Myra cleaning up, it's like, that's the only logical thing to fucking do.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can understand why he done
Yeah.
it.
Well, so obviously he's rushed back home to his wife, which is obviously Myra's sister, and she's going, "What's going on? What's going on?" He told her everything that he saw, and she at first was like, "Nah, not Myra. She wouldn't do that sort of thing." And then she basically saw in his eyes he weren't bullshitting. He started just throwing up everything, like, do you know what I mean? Like, panicking like fuck.
Yeah.
So they was like, "Well, we need to tell the police." It was like, "Yeah, but we can't do it yet because they're gonna, in case they followed me home just to see what I'm doing or anything." And they didn't have a landline at the time. Now, if you think back to the beginning of this, when I said the two people armed with the screwdriver and the hammer for protection rang the police, it was these two.
Oh, really?
David Smith and Maureen Hindley.
Oh, fuck.
They were the two that rang the police, and this is what culminated the whole thing.
Mm.
So they rang the police and told them basically they'd just seen a murder. So the police brought him in, questioned him, and he also said that Brady said to him that they had buried bodies in the moors. A load of police were sent to Brady and Hindley's home, and Brady was arrested. And everything of theirs was searched and seized and all that sort of shit. And they found some of the weirdest evidence ever in the house. And in other places, like in Myra's car, they found a piece of paper with Brady's handwriting, basically writing down detail after detail how to get away with murder.
Right.
In the house, they found a photo album with all the pictures of them over the burial sites at the moors. And they also found a notebook to which Brady had written inside multiple times, "John Kilbride," which was the second victim. David Smith also told the police that Brady had picked up Edward Evans from the railway station, to which obviously the police then started investigating that area, found his locker with all the incriminating evidence inside, including the audio and videotapes of them killing Leslie and Downey. So they got them bang to rights.
Yeah.
Now, Brady was obviously charged with the murder of Edward Evans and Leanne Downey. And at this time, Hindley was actually still free. She was not really on the run. She was just sort of hiding, basically. as she was trying to destroy all the evidence she could get her hands on. The majority of the evidence she destroyed was everything linking to Keith Bennett.
Right.
That's why his body's never been found, because obviously the pictures of the burial site, what they did with him, how they did it, all gone.
Oh, fuck.
Now, the police started to link all of this together.
Yeah.
Obviously, well, they tried to piece it all together, the link between Furry and Brady towards Edward Evans, Leslie Ann Downey, and John Kilbride, but couldn't link it to Pauline Reed or Keith Bennett. They also brought David Smith back in and asked him about the Moors.
Yeah.
They also looked at the pictures and realised it was most likely the Moors, most likely areas in the Moors, and decided the search began. Around this time, Myra Hindley was actually found and arrested. Well, 10 days into the search of the Moors, the first body was found, and it was 10-year-old Leslie Ann Downey. 5 days later, the second body of John Kilbride was found. Now, during this time, the trial began to the pair, to which thousands of people were waiting outside the courthouses just trying to get their fucking hands on these cunts.
Yeah.
Like, trying to smash the van up and that. Got so bad to the point they actually had to send a decoy van round so that the public would be going after them, and then they could slip the actual two in the back way.
I think I saw something about that.
Now, Brady was, like I said, pretty much banged to rights with all the evidence, but they needed to find some more on Myra, otherwise she would most likely get away with it.
Yeah, walk through.
So what they did, they went back to the photos from the Moors, and they noticed that Hindley was holding a puppy next to one of the burial sites. So they're thinking, well, if this is the same... So they're thinking, is this the same dog that when they started killing? So then they'd know the sort of time area, what they're dealing with.
Right.
So the police figured, to figure out how old the dog was, they took the dog, put it to sleep under anaesthetic, and was going to x-ray his teeth so they could find out how old the dog was, and then they could link it. Sadly, the dog died during this due to heart problems because of the anaesthetic.
Yeah.
So now you can't use that evidence. It's gone, basically.
But why is that? Because you can still get the age.
You can get the age thing, but because the dog's dead, it's now damning evidence. It's almost like, damaging evidence, sort of thing. Now, the trial concluded after 2 hours, where you think normally jury, like, whatever. Take weeks, days, months, whatever. This took 2 hours. And they were both guilty of triple murders and both sentenced to life in prison. The day they were sentenced was literally months. If they was sentenced just a couple months beforehand, they would have been given the death penalty. It was literally abolished just a couple of months before they were caught.
Oh, you bastards.
So it's like, you fucking assholes. Do you know what I mean?
You'd have thought something like that, they'd be like, wow, we'll still use it, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still hanging.
Well, during their prison sentences, this is where it flipped their lives. Because Brady tried everything to try and see Myra again. He went on hunger strike. He made himself ill. Basically finding any way he can to try and see her. Which I remember seeing a lot about. That he, was just a nightmare to deal with in prison. As well as this, Hindley actually attempted to escape prison a few times. And because of this, obviously, it extended her sentence even longer.
Yeah.
So at this point, she's gone, well, I'm not getting that. Yeah, I did kill Keith Bennett and I did kill Pauline Reed. And she was the one that actually helped the police find the body of Pauline Reed.
Right, but why not Bennett?
She couldn't, no matter what, neither of them just gave it up. Neither of them gave it up. No, I think whether it was a case of they just tried to have a hold on him or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she helped, literally went to the moors with the police and was like, it's somewhere around here. And they found Pauline Reed's body, and they was like, right, what about the other lad, Keith Bennett? Didn't say a word, either of the cunts. And what was on about with it flipping is because Brady was trying everything to see Myra again. She ended up marrying one of the fucking prison guards. She can give two shits about Brady. So she was just tapped.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, obviously they never found Keith Bennett's body. And sadly, his mum died in 2012, not knowing where her son is buried.
That's the thing, mate.
Now, obviously,
the only, well, it's not a good thing, but the only warming thing is she knows he's died.
yeah,
Which it sounds a bit rough, but she's got that closure that she knows
he's
that
not still out there,
yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah, that he has passed.
But obviously, in the news recently,
Yeah.
what a lot of people might not have known is that there was this one bloke, I can't think what his name was, who was basically the only person still searching these moors. And he started back in 2013, I think he said. Well, recently, he found a piece of a jaw and some fragments of a skull. That was examined thoroughly by basically every investigation sort of expert you can think of.
Yeah.
It's not Keith Bennett.
No.
They don't even know if it's human yet.
Right. Oh, okay.
But they've come out and said, no, the chances are of them finding Keith Bennett's body now is very, very slim because of the way the moors has grown and that, like the vegetation and everything's just changed completely.
Yeah.
And like we said in the last episode, the moors is fucking huge. Like, if for those like not living in the UK or whatever, literally just Google Saddleworth Moors and you'll see the sheer size of it. It's like it's impossible to dig that entire place up to find a body. It is near on impossible.
Gives a couple of days with a dig out. So rip through that bastard. Nah. Jokes aside, that is horrific.
Yeah. But the fact as well that they were both charged with 3 murders. So they didn't have a clue. Well, they tried to link it, I suppose, with Keith Bennett and Pauline Reed, but they weren't able to. So they were basically their bodies were like basically going unanswered, sort of thing. If you know what I mean. Yeah. The fact that
weren't justified.
Yeah.
And
the fact that she's turned around and was like, "Yeah, okay, I killed him. Well, we killed him," sort of thing.
No, but could there have been theories and that, like saying that they could have killed more?
Yeah, there are. I know there was quite a few cases. I think 3 or 4 cases of people that survived them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that they attempted to. Whether I think some were the case of they just managed to escape when they got to the moors. Some were they asked them to get in the van and they were just like, nah.
Yeah,
because they can't obviously just get out and fucking drag them into the van. This is public. Whereas if you're offering them to get in the van and they've just probably walked in, no one's going to really bat an eyelid, are they?
No. Like even nowadays, you say, "Oh, they know them." That's reality of it. Is like you'd like to think like, "Oh, you can tell who's dodgy and who's not." Let's be honest, we don't.
Well, no, but you know, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you always, it's that ignorance.
Yeah.
Thing like you always think, "Oh, they know them." Like you
But there's one person I feel sorry for in this whole situation. Not more than anyone, is Maureen Hindley.
Yeah.
She's grown up in an abusive relationship. Well, abusive parents.
Yeah.
She's then found out that her sister is one of the most notorious killers in the country. That's killed her friend.
Yeah.
And just after their little girl has died, has took them to some of the sites where they fucking buried their victims.
Yeah, I know. And cause
that is a mindfuck and a half.
Yeah, and she had to go through her whole life probably getting spat at, swore at,
simply just for being related.
Yeah, she didn't have anything to fucking.
I know. With David Smith, they tried to get him sentenced because they said there's more on him because, they tried to the public tried to get him to be charged with complicity to murder.
You're right.
Because obviously he did help clean up the blood and that.
Yeah.
So, and apparently a few people are saying, nah, he knew more on it and all that sort of shit.
Right.
I think that, I know his life was completely thrown upside down. Again, he was like spat at and just held abuse at because of his link with them.
Yeah.
He was sacked from his job, couldn't get another job anywhere else.
No.
And I think he, not long after that, went to prison for, I can't think what he went to prison for. Something not majorly bad. I think it was something along the lines of like GBH or something like that. Right. So that obviously threw his life into shit.
Yeah.
It just goes to show, like,
just to be proved, just to have.
And theoretically, if he wasn't, I know he got all the abuse, and you can say, yeah, okay, he was a complicity to murder because he did help clean up the blood and all that. But if he never went to the police, they literally would have gotten away with this.
Yeah, they could have done more.
They were the only way that they were found out it was them.
Yeah. Do you think as well it could have been Brady starting off saying he knew more than that just because he ratted him out?
Maybe. Very well, maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, could have been.
Because at the time he's fucking all big-headed and that, thinking, I've got away with this, I could commit the perfect crime.
Yeah.
And then David Smith, the geography teacher, has phoned the police and fucked him. Yeah. Basically. And he's like, what the fuck? I'd have got away with this if it weren't for you prick. If I'm going down, you're coming down.
Especially as well if he was trying to rope him into it.
Yeah.
And he literally just killed that Edward Evans just to prove he can.
Just to prove a point.
And then he's turned around and dobbed on him.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what
if
I mean.
If you're Myra Hindley, you must be looking at Brady going, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, she's probably...
she hated it. Yeah, she hated him from the get-go.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, he's sweet,
See?
he's sweet. It's like,
See?
fucking told you.
Yeah.
No wonder she didn't want nothing to do with him when they got in a prison.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, fuck him.
Yeah.
Stupid cunt. Oh, I could commit the perfect crime. I'm going to go fucking tell my brother-in-law.
Yeah,
You fucking dumbass. Look what happened there, you silly cunt. Yeah, fucking prick. I'd be the same. I'd hold right fucking grudge.
Yeah, you would.
Fuck this guy.
That's what I mean. That's why I think Brady might have, or even Hindley tried to stitch him up.
Yeah.
And it's like Chinese whispers, and then it just escalated from there.
Yeah.
They say we don't know. He might know more than what.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. We weren't there.
But what you've told me, I think he had fucking shock. He was in deep shock, and that was the only thing to. You know when you are in deep shock and someone says "Oh, come sit down and have a glass of water."
Yeah.
You do exactly what they say.
Yeah.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Because you just don't. You fucked, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're in. Your head's gone 19 to the dozen.
Yeah.
So and that's why I think that's why he did do it, because they're probably like, oh, Gizak.
Yeah. Yeah.
You better help clean this up, and he's like, yeah, all right, yeah, and start doing it.
Yeah.
And then after leaving, he think, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah. Exactly. And the thing is as well, even deeper than that, you're then got to go home. Your wife seeing what the fuck's going on with you, and you've basically just got to tell her your sister and her fella have just killed someone in front of me. Just what the fuck must go through your head? What the actual fuck? These two are just two of the sickest bastards. Well, there's a reason they're the most notorious.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that when you think, like I said earlier, with the bigger picture, they were so close to getting away with it. They theoretically did.
Yeah.
Unless David Smith, literally that one mistake is the only reason they got caught.
They say it could have just stopped by then, and we would have never known what happened to these children.
No.
Or they'd have killed more and they'd have made a mistake later on.
Yeah.
Which then would have caused more deaths. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, obviously, because for those that don't know, obviously, I'm not too sure about Myra Hindley, but Ian Brady's dead now. He literally would have died, gotten away with it. Yeah, no one would have known. It's not like Jimmy Savile, where after he died, all the cases started coming forward about him.
Yeah.
No one's going to come forward about this because no one's known. Yeah, exactly.
Let me just check. Just check Myra Hindley.
But I remember seeing loads of videos.
She died 15th of November 2002.
Oh, fucking hell, she died way before Brady then.
Yeah, in West Suffolk NHS Foundation Trust.
Jesus. She died fucking ages ago.
No, yeah. She's a rum-looking fucking...
Oh, yeah, that's fucking hag.
Yeah, she's a rum-looking thing. Very witch-like.
Yeah.
Very witch-like.
But, I remember seeing, videos and interviews on that of her, and she is just literally talking about this sort of shit like anyone would talk about the Sunday dinner.
Really?
Yeah. Well, like I said, she's the one that admitted to Keith Bennett and Pauline Reed. Yeah. So they asked us, are there more bodies? And she's basically like, yeah. It's like, there's two. It's like Keith Bennett and Pauline Reed. And then she's has the audacity. People might look at it and thinking, oh, at least she helped. No. The audacity that she's gone back there, knowing where these people are buried, and gone, dig there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you think, you fucking evil cunt. No wonder she was tarnished the most hateful woman in Britain.
Yeah. Most evil.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no.
But I think that just the whole sadness of this story, the fact that that poor little boy
Will never be found.
will never be found.
Well, it's not impossible, but it's very unlikely.
Very, very unlikely, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, Jesus Christ.
No, that is shocking. Absolutely shocking. No, if what we spoke about on this episode, we always say, but we don't try and be disrespectful.
No, of course not.
To the children who have passed. It's just the way we are. We try and make light of things.
It's our way of not dealing with things because it's not affected us personally. But our way, a sort of coping mechanism kind of thing, where it's like, we do try and make lighthearted of any situation, not just victims of things. No, literally anything about our lives.
Yeah.
It's just us.
Yeah, that is right. And like, but no, if this has affected you, we send our deepest apologies.
Yeah.
Our deepest sympathies.
Yeah, exactly.
But it just shows you can't trust no cunt.
No.
You really can't trust anyone nowadays. Well, and like I said, that's back then.
Yeah.
The 60s.
Well, the thing is, back then, it was common for your kids to go wandering.
Of course it was.
And all that sort of shit.
It was common for when we were kids.
Yeah. And
Wait
it's like,
till you got home when the lights come on.
Yeah, exactly. And they just caught them so easy. And these innocent kids that are just thinking they're helping every time. They think they're helping them.
Yeah.
Like with Pauline Reed, she thinks she's helping find a glove. John Kilbride is what was it? What did they say with John Kilbride?
When he just walked.
Yeah, I think so, something like that.
Yeah.
But then with Keith Bennett, helping with the shopping.
No, that was
Leslie Ann Downey helping with the shopping.
Yeah, Bennett was going to see
his nan.
His nan, yeah.
And they just, that's the one. I know I keep mentioning it, but that's the one that fucking I think hits deepest the most. Not only because he's not been found, the fact that he turned around, waved to his mum, was literally down the road from his nan's, and they got him that quick.
Yeah.
They must have been following.
Oh yeah.
For ages.
Like as soon as she turned her back.
Yeah, it's like, right, get her. It's like, what the actual fuck, you sick cunts. Yeah. Rot in hell. Yeah. Fucking rot in hell.
Fucking rot in hell, mate. Because we never condone murder, but there's sometimes when you see people and they kill someone, they've got a fucking reason.
Yeah.
These haven't.
No.
They have not got a genuine reason.
No, their whole thing is to commit the perfect crime.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
And basically, the perfect crime isn't even just murder. It's just something so perfectly planned that they get away with it.
Yeah. Couldn't they have done a heist?
Literally anything.
Couldn't they have just done a heist or something like that?
Fucking kill a child.
Yeah. How can you even gloat about that?
I know.
A child. If it was like a big burly meathead gym freak, you we was able to kill someone like that. Fair. Not fair enough, but you know what I mean?
What I mean.
It's like, fair game. These are children.
Innocent little children.
Yeah, they ain't going to put up a fight, really, are they?
No, of course they're not. They thought they were helping.
Exactly.
You're like,
fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Rot in hell, the fucking pair of them.
Too right.
But again, going on like what you were just saying, where sometimes they have a reason. Sometimes they can't help it.
Yeah.
Like the likes of, I know we've mentioned it before, the former footballer Angel Hernandez, the former wrestler Chris Benoit. Yeah, because they both had head injuries that caused them to flip.
And they seem to think that could have been something to do with Dharma.
Did they?
Dharma. Yeah, because he had an operation when he was a kid.
Right.
And apparently he switched out of this operation.
There you go.
And they think it could have switched something in his head.
Yeah.
What made him make him turn out that way.
And some people with like Bundy, they're not born into it, but like
fucked up circumstances.
Yeah, like with the whole thing about him, just basically women just fucking him off, basically. That he's thinking, I'm gonna fucking use you.
Yeah.
These two have literally just gone. Yeah, let's do it.
Fuck it.
Even with other serial killers that I'll cover this year, with the likes of Ian Huntley. I know what I'm saying with all these. I'm not justifying them in the slightest.
No.
But with the likes of Ian Huntley, his was out of rage because he had an argument with his girlfriend. That's when he killed those two.
Maxine Carr,
Yeah, that's when he killed those two little girls.
Fred and Rose West.
Yeah, they well, he was just a simp. He was just a dunce, basically.
Yeah.
Fucking Dinlow. She was the mastermind behind the whole thing.
She was. Yeah, she was a prostitute and all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually always not an excuse, but
a reason. These two have not had a
these
reason.
ain't got a
You
reason.
cannot say committing a perfect crime is a reason because there's so many other crimes you can commit.
Like I said, do a heist.
Yeah,
Try and get some money. Fair enough. That's fair game.
yeah. Not
You know,
fucking,
you're not actually hurting anyone.
No.
You're just hurting the government, which no one at this moment in time, no one gives a fuck.
Fucking if
about.
this day and they found out that they done that, they get praised.
Yeah, like Robin Hood.
Yeah, they really would be like big up Brady and Hindley.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Well, no, what I'm saying is if they did that.
Do not sound clip that.
No. But what I'm saying is if they did that,
yeah,
then it'd be a case of fair play.
Yeah.
Like the great train robbers sort of thing.
Yeah, it's the Chelsea Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old
Them
boys and
sort
that.
of ones.
You know,
You're like, fucking go on.
Yeah, nah.
No, these cunts, you're just like, you fucking diabolical scumbags.
Yeah. That is it.
Fucking rot in hell, you pair of cretins.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. But if you are listening or watching, hopefully, let us know. I'd say let us know your thoughts, but let us know your thoughts. Do you believe there was a deeper reason that they did this? Do you believe?
Do you think David Smith was
Yeah.
more
Do you
involved?
think? Yeah. Do you think there are more victims out there?
Yeah. That's the thing, because it just something don't sit right with me. They're just doing it to do the perfect crime.
Yeah.
Because you'd have thought they'd have done it once, maybe twice.
Well, yeah, that's how it was looking like it was going. Once to see if they can do it. Two to just be like, see if it weren't a bluff.
Yeah,
And
out of that, it seems like they're actually enjoying it.
And the fact that he said, I'm going to stop after 4, but then he killed again just to prove a point.
It seems so easy.
But and as well going along that, it's like, if you did this one just to prove a point, how many other points were you going to attempt to make?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? What other situations were going to occur where, I don't know, you could be pissed off or something?
Yeah.
And you're like, I've just lost my job, let's kill a kid.
Yeah.
Or do you know what I mean? Or
I'll stub my tongue.
yeah, do you know what I mean? Literally fucking anything.
Yeah. No, it's all a bit fucked. All a bit fucked. And it... Yeah, so let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Of this horrible fucking case.
Mm-hmm.
Of, like you say, two of the most notorious serial killers in the UK, UK history.
But no, I think I'm done talking about them.
Yeah.
Cunts.
Yeah. No, fair play, mate.
But like Ed said, we don't mean to upset or offend anyone.
Nah.
It's literally, I mean, we're just saying our points. I know we said this season, sorry, that I will be covering a lot more serial killers, but that is because I have got an interest in them.
Yeah.
But I don't mean the interest of literally, how'd they do it?
Yeah.
I mean the interest of what was their upbringing, what caused them to do it, how did they get away with it for so long, how were they caught, what was the trials like, do you know what I mean? All that
what justice did
yeah,
people have
basically.
against them? Yeah. No. But I just think that especially in this day and age, everyone is so interested in serial killers. You know what I mean?
And pop culture has a major effect on that. The likes of Netflix and Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
because there are so fucking many.
Yeah. Let's say, like, I was saying at the start, and I've mentioned it before, like, me and Courtney watched Dharma.
Yeah.
And there was a fuck thing on that as well. Like, when Dharma went to prison, people were sending him letters. They were fan mail. Literal fan mail.
Some people are just not right in their head.
But so like with Ted Bundy, like the girls and that.
I know,
go to the
you're
court.
like, what the fuck are you actually? It's almost like they've had the wall pulled over their eyes, and you just want to like reveal that, like, you know, in Scooby Doo where they pull the mask off to reveal who it is. You almost want to do that. It's like, see, this is the real them.
Yeah,
and you still fucking like them.
That's what I mean. They like pop culture and media glorify them.
Yeah.
And it's like another British prisoner, like Charles Bronson. He wanted to be famous so bad that he became Britain's most famous prisoner.
Yeah. I've never known a guy that's not done anything that bad that has been in prison so much.
He done an armed robbery, and he got away with £7, son. Like, it was so fucking ridiculously tight.
I mean, yeah, okay, that'd be worth more nowadays, but not a lot.
No,
not substantial amount.
Like, say 50 quid.
Yeah.
at most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not even that.
It's not going to be a substantial, like, life-changing.
No, it'd get you. You might have a good weekend out of it, but that'd be about
yeah,
it.
exactly.
And he's not really come out since.
Nah.
He had a little.
I know there's a
stint.
load of talk of him potentially coming out.
Yeah,
and
that's
all that,
true.
but
And he got a different name now.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but
Because Charles Bronson's not his actual name, is it?
no, because he got that from an actor, didn't he?
Mm.
Well, try to think. Try to think from the film Bronson, because that's a fucking good film.
Tom Hardy one.
Yeah. Oh, what was his name? It was something like not boring, but it was very. Oh, fair enough.
What, his real name?
Yeah.
Something El Salvador, wasn't it?
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, ain't his real name.
I'ma investigate.
Nah.
I'm sure it's like El Salvador or
You
something
sure that's
like
not what he's changed it to now?
No, I might have done.
Charles.
So it turns out it's David Smith.
Yeah.
Charles Bronson.
Oh no.
Yeah, Charles Alpha Salvador.
Nah, Michael Peterson, wasn't it? That was his real name. Michael Gordon Peterson, that was his real name.
On mine, it says Michael Jonathan Peterson's his child. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
full name Michael Gordon Peterson.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's changed it to Charles.
Bronson.
so it was Charles
Ali,
Bronson.
Ahmed, Mickey.
And then
Charles
he's obviously
Salvador.
changed it to Charles Salvador.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, when you look at him, especially with the big beard, he looks like a Charles Salvador.
Yeah. That's fair. Like, his convictions: armed robbery, wounding twice, wounding with intent, criminal damage, grievously bodily harm, false imprisonment, blackmail, threatening to kill.
Well, I mean, he did basically go to every prison in the UK and turned up the gaff.
Yeah.
Caused a riot in pretty much every single fucking one.
Which one was it we went on the roof? Wasn't that Broadmoor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
took the roof, didn't
Yeah.
he? What a boy.
I've never known something where Broadmoor, which is one of the top, like the second top prison.
Well, because Broadmoor's a psychiatric prison.
Yeah. But
Well-
to have so many fucking things happen.
Yeah, no.
You'd think that'd be the most secure out of the lot.
Well, no, Broadmoor is, when you think about it, Broadmoor's our own Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Every cunt breaks out of there.
Yeah. Because obviously Parkhurst is the top one, innit? That's what.
Well, it ain't a psychiatric, that's just a prison.
No, but
That's
they called that Britain's Alcatraz, didn't
Yeah,
they?
'cause
Because it was on an Isle of Wight.
Yeah. But no, like say one of the most locked up prisons.
It's literally just
Down
down
the
the road
road.
from us in
Yeah, Whitemore.
Whitemore.
In March.
Which I'm not too sure whether Brady was there at one point.
I'm not sure, to be
I
honest.
know
Dennis Nielsen.
I know
was.
Dennis Nielsen and Ian Huntley were.
Yeah. And them who killed Lee Rigby.
Yeah. It's one that the prison they got mashed up in.
Probably. But no, there is some.
Because it's majority a terrorist prison now, isn't it?
terrorist and murder.
Murders, yeah.
Yeah, it's category A, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's got some.
Which Madley, our friend's working at.
Oh yeah, Liam.
Where's that?
Liam Wallace,
It's literally.
who I think might be on one of our episodes.
Well, yeah, they
Is it?
said that him and his girlfriend Molly said they wanted to come on it.
Yeah, the +1 Molly.
Yeah, +1.
That's inside joke.
Yeah.
yeah.
Had to be there.
yeah. Well, no, basically, when it was my wedding and Lewis's wedding, we invited Liam because he's like a mate of ours now, and Molly was the +1. And she's known us actually longer than what Liam has. But yeah, so yeah, she took a hump to it. But
Yeah.
because I think because one of the episodes I'm doing, I'm so buzzed I got it.
You
It's
jammy
Jack the Ripper.
fucker.
Fucking have it.
Biggest mystery going, and you claim it, you little bastard.
Myth as well, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't claim it. We played for it,
I know.
and I won.
You bastard.
I'm good at these games.
You fucking bastard.
Well, you know. So, but yes, I think they're going to be on there. So I'd be quite interested to see like what he's actually been up to.
Yeah.
in Whitemore and that.
Obviously, I think there'll be so much you can't talk about.
Yeah.
But just to get an aura of being in a Cat A prison with some of the most dangerous people
But
this
Lewis
country's
has
ever
been in
seen.
Lewis
Yeah,
has been
but
in there.
Lewis has been in it when it's in a lockdown.
Oh right.
This will be just like an average prison sort of
Average
thing
day kind of
for
thing.
him.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I remember asking Lewis about it. He said I can't remember what was wrong with the Donny. Something bad, obviously, because an ambulance called in. Yeah, something like that. And apparently they just put the prison on automatic lockdown and just shut them all in the cells and that. So basically, Lewis had a straight run through.
Oh right.
So he didn't really see what it's actually like.
Uh,
Whereas Liam will.
yeah.
Liam will
that's true.
literally be dealing with some of the most dangerous fuckers in the country.
And you wouldn't think it looked like
No, you really wouldn't. I was about to say the same thing. He's one of the most lovable lads going.
one of the most genuine, nicest lads.
And he's working in a Cat A.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what do you mean? But we've said before, I'm under the impression that I think a Cat A is going to would be a hell of a lot easier to work in than a Cat C.
Yeah, because like you say with Cat A's and that, they know they're not.
No, they're getting that. So what's the point of acting like a prick?
Yeah.
Because it's not going to get them
life, 'cause
anything.
That is their life. now,
Yeah,
so-
exactly. Where Cat C's, that's where all you want to be fucking roadman gangsters.
Mm.
Oh, I don't like what I got for fucking food this day. I'm going to take a bucket of shit and throw it over one of the prison guards. Right? Because that's going to fucking help, innit, you divvy cunt.
We'll shiv up someone.
It's like, here's an
Fuck
idea.
off.
Don't jack a car. You wouldn't been in there in the first place, would you? You fucking Stormzy wannabe. Oh, they are, though, isn't they? Oh, you see blood. Fuck you, shut your mouth.
Oh, yeah, nah. Not my kind of talking.
Nope. Which is ironic, because I'm black.
Yeah, I know.
And I fucking hate it.
Mate, you listen to Keen.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. I like one song. One fucking song! Jesus Christ.
I had to do that for Lewis.
Bella, that's the only thing he's got on me that gets me to bite. I can get that fucking a bite like a fish.
Oh, he's too easy to
Yeah.
break, bro.
But him, that's the only thing he's got on me. I'm like,
Yeah.
you fucking rat.
But that's like Connor. Connor's one of the only people who can. No, Jess is one of the only people who can make me bite. Or,
Yeah.
No. Oh, I'm fucking it up now. Jess is the only one of the people who can actually put me in my place.
Oh, yeah.
Like, shut
Fucking
me.
hell. I mean,
shut
Jess can
me
put any
down.
cunt in their place.
Yeah. But I can make Connor bite.
Yeah. And he can make you
He
bite.
can make me bite.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why me and him were like a good pair like that.
Yeah. Lewis, literally anyone could make bite. A newborn could make Lewis bite.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, babe starts crying. Why? Nah, are you done, John?
Yeah, I think I'm about Romeo done.
Yeah. Oh, what am I gonna do next week?
Ooh.
You got any suggestions for me?
Don't look at me. Half of them ain't heard of.
Well, no. The thing what keeps popping up in my head, but I don't know. Is it too early on? Nah, fuck it. I'm gonna do one of our only investigations.
Oh?
I'm gonna do the Alien Big Cats.
Hey! Big up.
So that'll be a very, very good episode because that is something because I've had to do to a group on Facebook about big cat sightings and everything, and
That's just popping off all the time.
all the time. Like, it's mad. Like, how has this not been proven?
I know. How's not one been caught? Seriously.
Because I ain't started hunting. Let's be honest, mate. Once I get a trap made up or like thought up, I'm catching one. It is what's gonna happen.
If it does, I'll take my hat off to you.
It's
Well, I'll be there, but...
well, yeah, exactly. You will be taking the hat off because it's gonna happen, mate. I'm gonna catch a panther.
Big up the panther. Wakanda forever. That's coming out soon, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna do it because if.
Well, I've seen so many links that apparently M'Baku is going to take it. And then I've seen ones that the sister's going to take it.
I've seen a lot more about the sister
Yeah.
taking it.
And then I saw one that apparently they're somehow going to bring Killmonger back, and he's going to take it.
Yeah.
So unless they just all sort of do it in his memory sort of thing, and they don't
Yeah.
actually have a Black
So
Panther.
are they actually? So they're gonna kill him off.
Well, I don't know if they're going to kill him off, but obviously I think they'll acknowledge whether he's just died in his peace or just gone off into the sunset sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how they'll do it.
No, that'll be the thing. Because that was honestly, I can remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Like about Chadwick Boseman dying, and I was numb.
Yeah, you're like, what the
I
fuck?
just weren't expecting.
And the
it.
fact that when he was filming Infinity War and Endgame,
he
was seriously ill.
But yeah, he just wasn't thinking.
And, but none of the crew or the
No.
cast, no one had a clue.
No.
He literally kept it to himself.
Yeah.
And it's only when you actually look back at certain pictures where he does look ill.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't just think that naturally looking at him. You just think, well, for the role or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
you wouldn't think he's actually basically dying.
No, and that was such a tragic loss.
Mm.
Because he really, really stepped up for Marvel.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of the best Marvel films I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. Only thing I did not like about it is they killed Thingy off too quick.
Claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the
But-
same time, I see why they did it.
But apparently he might not be dead.
All right.
I've heard things as well that he might not actually be dead. Because I hope so. Because he was so.
He was
good.
fucking brilliant. Andy Serkis, man.
Yeah.
What an actor.
What an actor. He's the thing. But the thing is though, like, that's one of the only films where he's him.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you see, like, he was King Kong, Caesar,
Gollum.
Smeagol,
Yeah.
stuff like that. He was more of a, what you call it, actor.
Not a voice, but like a.
Yeah.
Because they obviously use his body in it. Yeah, motion
A
actor.
motion actor. But, yeah, and for him to actually act like a person.
Yeah.
Well, even then, he had a robotic arm.
And a South African accent.
Yeah, which, it's South African, man.
I could see you. Cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Nah, big up Andy Serkis.
Yeah, no, it's sick. Really, really sick. But yeah, no. Don't know how we got onto that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, no, next week I'll be talking about the ABCs.
Yeah, boy.
I
Easiest
think.
1, 2, 3s.
Exactly. And when, right, I might as well say it now, because when I say I've been studying like alien big cats, no, I don't mean Martian.
Cats from outer space.
Yeah, no, I do not mean that. They get the name alien big cats is because they're alien to this country.
Yeah, they're not from there.
And they're not from the UK. That's why they mean by alien. It's like years and years ago, an immigrant would be called
An alien, yeah. Alien was foreign before foreign was.
Yeah, pretty much. So, no.
Even nowadays, it's still, I know, like with alien big cats, but even nowadays in certain things, it's still used. Where if something's just not meant to be there, it's a bit alien, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't actually mean blip, 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 fucking blah, blah, blah.
What? What?
We need to find a little girl.
Wait, what?
Scary movie reference.
Yeah.
You should see how we pee. What a film.
Oh, that's so good. It's so shit, but so good.
I know, that's what made them. Did you see the fucking thing I tagged you in on the chat the other day about them? You know, in the fourth one,
Yeah.
where she's talking to the little Asian boy where it's meant to be taking the piss out of the ring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they're not even talking Japanese. They're literally just saying random Japanese phrases.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, karate, judo, sumo, samurai. And you're like, how have no one ever clicked on that?
No,
It's like,
no.
wait, what? It's like, Toyota, Mitsubishi, sashimi. You're like, how's no one clicked on that they're not? I think because so many people are reading the subtitles,
Yeah.
but not actually clicking on that they're not saying anything in Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
You're just like, what the fuck? How did they get away with that?
That's what I mean. That's how most things now, isn't
It's like, yeah, I can speak Japanese. Karate, judo, sumo, samurai. You're like, eh? Fuck's
The only
sake.
thing I know to say Japanese is that fucking like from TikTok, just Nyoni.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Nyoni. That's the only thing I know. That's
Jesus
that is only
Christ.
from TikTok.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Oh, I've enjoyed this, Josh.
Oh, shit, boy. So have I, actually.
Yeah. Alright. Well, I hope everyone's enjoyed this episode. It is dark, but fuck it.
Yeah. There's a new saying. It is dark, but so am I.
Yeah, only he can say that.
I'm getting that on a t-shirt.
What can I say? I'm here to breaking it up. I don't know.
Hey, that's actually pretty sick. That's actually pretty sick.
don't know.
There you go. New t-shirts.
Oh, shit.
Can we get away with them?
I don't know.
It is dark, but so am I.
I'm just here to break
Right,
it up.
I mean, you can get definitely away with that one.
Yeah, you know.
I just,
Yeah, you could wear it, but I couldn't. Well, no.
yeah, because dark is in, because
People might think, oh, he's a mucky bugger.
yeah, or like, yeah, it's like, oh, fucking, what thoughts does he have? And sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm wearing it, it's blatantly obvious what I'm fucking on about. But
I don't know, mate.
nah,
I don't see race,
no.
especially Formula 1. But
Fair play, Max Verstappen.
fuck you. I don't know who that is. If you enjoyed this, you can follow us on Facebook, which is Mr. Mysteries in Black and White. You can follow us on Instagram, which is Mr. Mysteries _. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. So hopefully you're actually seeing this, which is just Myths and Mysteries. You can email us at mythsandmysteries@outlook.com.
Boom.
Did I get it right?
Yep. Smashed it.
Yeah, boy. And you can listen to us, Josh.
Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Podchaser, Player FM, and iHeartRadio.
And you can listen to us and watch us on our YouTube.
On Tubi. I've been hanging around Lewis too much.
Yeah.
Fucking amount of times he says that sort of shit.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But no, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
See ya.